Satya?
Yeah, just a second. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Asset Colloquium at the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. And there are a few who I see are from outside the TIFR family. So maybe for those of you, ASSET stands for Advances in Science, Engineering and Technology. This is essentially a colloquium forum which organizes talks on Fridays at 4 p.m. like the way you are having today. It also complements the two other major colloquia of the Tata Institute, which you also may be interested to attend. One of them is the Natural Sciences Faculty Colloquium that happens on Wednesday at 4 p.m. And the other one is a Mathematics Colloquium that happens on Thursdays at 4 p.m. As the name says, this colloquium, Asset Colloquium, usually organizes talks that are related to engineering, technology, medical field, and few other elite areas that are also connected to the basic science, instrumentation, and electronics, software, and so on and so forth. And today, the speaker we have here is Dr. Hemant Adarkar, who's going to talk on the underlying technology and what are the main operational issues of digital currencies, which is, of course, is quite a hot topic. Hemant, of course, he absolutely requires no introduction for all of us at TIFR, but since some of you are also joining from outside, let me say Hemant, we all know to us from late 80s as a high energy physicist. He did his PhD working in the underground experiments at Kolar Goldfields. His research topic is that involving study of the so-called muon bundle events and also the magnetic monopoles and such exotic phenomena that's happening at that time. It was these were all hot topics then, and they continue to be hot topics even now. But unlike some of what typically happens, he chose to kind of move to a technology area. Then he went on changing a lot of hats, though at some point in time he lost hair, but his hats continued to be occupying his head. Initially, he was called Web Guru, then he was called some Technology Guru, he was Digital Currency Guru, Corporate Architecture Guru, Banking Guru, whatnot. I mean, every time we invite him to give a talk at TIFR, and when I ask to give a latest bio or CV, he will give completely a new CV, which didn't have anything connected with the previous one. So today, I mean, I was also surprised to find that his latest CV says that, of course, he's an alumnus of TIFR, but he's the technology advisor and research resident senior fellow of Ardha India Research Advisors, which was actually formerly is IDFC Institute. He's also a public interest director at National Commodities and Derivatives Exchange. So all these, of course, for us, they're Greek and Latin, but he's going to take us today onto this very interesting topic that many times we keep hearing about this cryptocurrency, digital currency. We don't even know, is it legal, it is illegal, it is legal, but how does it operate, and what are the tips and traps of many of these aspects. So with that, it's really great pleasure once again to invite one of our very own Hemant Adarkar to give today's colloquium. Hemant, hello to you.
Yeah, thanks, Satya, and thanks for that kind introduction. And I keep changing hats, yeah, but this hat has changed itself because of RBI intervention. That IDFC Institute, was forced to change its name, because of some regulatory issues, and so it's called now Artha Global. It's a think/do tank, and where we support the central government, Indian central government, and various state governments on three types of issues, which are, primarily the urban development and urban migration. Second is criminal justice. So we deal with a lot of police. And then the third one is the data governance network and data science. So, data privacy um, is our real topic, where I spearhead that activity. So without much further ado, let me come to today's topic, which is digital currency. And needless to say, it is though I just wrote digital currency, it is actually central bank digital currency, the digital currency which is issued by the central bank, which is nothing but uh, the currency which is sort of issued in paper by central bank, and central banks all over the world. In our case, it's Reserve Bank, and it's just a digital form of that. So I'm going to sort of roughly follow this pattern. The plan of this today's talk is, the reason behind digital currency. Why there's so much of talk, so much of buzz happening on digital currency. Even as I speak today, 10 minutes ago, the Fed, the US, uh, Department of Finance, which regulates the banks and the stock exchanges. Uh, it's talking about internally discussing digital currency. Okay, so I think we need to distinguish between cryptocurrency, which has been a hot topic as well in last few years, and so we will have this series, definitions of various types of currencies, and then I will sort of what is the central bank digital currency status issues. I will discuss that briefly, and before summarizing this topic. So uh, Microsoft top honcho, is sort of on the record of saying that banks may not survive. Yeah, and but banking will always be there. So we always need the financial institutions, but it's the financial transactions that matter more than these financial institutions. So they may not survive, and we'll come to meaning of this deep statement by Bill Gates. He also is on record by saying that future of money is digital currency. But I mean, I think it's a no-brainer for somebody, people who are born in the millennials, millennium, and quote unquote millennials, Generation Z, whatever you call, as everything is getting digital, right? I mean, all businesses are software businesses, and every activity that we do is digital, and therefore it is natural that money is also getting digital. So even though it sort of looked like a very deep statement once upon a time, now it's a very, very obvious and clear statement. Let's define, I would like to sort of distinguish between, digital currency and, what are these different kinds of currencies which are prevalent in the market today. So cryptocurrency is nothing, and I had given already a asset colloquium on blockchain and Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is an example of cryptocurrency and the original example. So cryptocurrency is generated by a network of computers, okay, and it is sort of generated through a a series of algorithms, series of where you the cryptocurrency is sort of mined through mathematical calculations, and the ultimate truth in this sense is not the not your bank, not the central bank, not the finance ministry, nor a government of any nation, but it is basically a mathematical truth that allows, that is belief, rather than, believing in state, believing in, in God we trust kind of things, or, what is a legal tender, etc. We'll come to that, but it's basically a mathematical uh, truth that is looked upon as the source of cryptocurrency. Now, if you look at the way Bitcoin and blockchain were formed, it's a single paper written by a person who disappeared called Satoshi Nakamura in 2008. And therefore, any organization that issues a cryptocurrency begins with a white paper, and uh, it always said that, why believe government. So it's some kind of anarchy which is uh, you know uh, talked about by the proponents of blockchain initially. And it is believed that blockchain and related technology, blockchain is also by the way called as distributed ledger technology, because any transaction that happens at one node is replicated across all nodes. It's the property of blockchain. Now, it sort of reminds us that, you can have financial transactions independent of the government. And at an international level, you can have financial transactions independent of the US dollar. By definition, any transaction that happens today happens, with, either it's pegged to US dollar, and therefore there are a large number of uh, people, even large number of countries, sovereign countries, which would like any other way that US dollar is not in the picture of a transaction. And therefore, the hegemony of US government is sort of challenged by various countries through the cryptocurrency model. Uh, there are advantages. It's a decentralized system, and payment transfers, are cheaper and faster, definitely, because the banks are not involved, and therefore there is no commission. Also, it's a decentralized system, so that if your bank's database is down, unless proper IT governance is maintained, uh, you know, uh, the banks can fail, right? I mean, that HDFC Bank had a technical glitch for, on 23rd February 2021 for about a full day, and this is one of India's largest bank, just because there was no power in the data center. And, variety of reason, including no diesel for the diesel generator. So cryptocurrency is an answer, but it's sort of, uh, is it a sort of, does it solve any problems? Does it solve any existing issues that are posed to the by the banking system? We shall come to that later. There are other coins which are called stable coins, which are sort of, a combination of, the existing currencies backed by state or an asset. So it's a cryptocurrency, but it's sort of, its price is based on that of, say, a US dollar. So a dollar coin is a stable coin, or gold, price, a coin whose cryptocurrency whose price is based on gold is, can be called as a stable coin. Now, uh, so just, one thing I would like to sort of pinpoint your attention. I have not used your, you read the first line, cryptocurrency is a form of digital asset. I would not call this currency. You know, even in stable coins, it's it's sort of stable coins are digital assets. So once it's you call it an asset, it's the volatility that these Bitcoin, Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency has is acceptable. If you have a currency, then volatility of that order is not acceptable, right? Unless there is a failure because of hyperinflation, or the government itself is sort of uh, you know uh, dissolved, etc. So that is the time where currency can fail, but it is not otherwise, and therefore these are assets and not currencies. Okay. The third terminology which you must have read in newspapers is NFTs, or non-fungible uh, tokens, and it is actually nothing but non-immutable, immutable data stored on a blockchain, or a distributed ledger, and it is sort of it could be photo, video, audios, or it could be paintings which are digitized. This one, Amitabh Bachchan's first tweet, is also an NFT, and these NFTs are traded. So these are assets, and therefore assets can be traded. Assets can be, uh, you know, can change hands for cryptocurrencies or for normal currencies. So, coming to what are the applications in blockchain, and there could be, digital currencies, one of the applications of uh, blockchain. In fact, if you see, I was speaking about volatility. The Initially people used to buy pizzas using 1 Bitcoin. Now it's almost excess of $35,000 each Bitcoin, right? So now it's complete volatility over last 13 years, which you can see. And there are statements, some tweets made by the Tesla MD, and there is a big volatile, in fact, big ups and downs in the price of Bitcoins. Now, yeah, Sukant, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I just want to ask probably a naive question,
Yeah,
that if digital currency is still being quoted in terms of dollars,
yeah,
then how has it become free of the conventional currency?
yeah. I will come to that, Sukant. You just remind me at the end this one.
Okay,
Because next thing is I'm going to define digital currency.
okay, okay, okay.
Okay. So now that is, I spoke about cryptocurrency, and cryptocurrency is independent of governments, right? And it's sort of mainly anarchy. People who wrote about it, were sort of anarchists. Uh, Central bank digital currency is a fiat currency. Okay, fiat is nothing but anything that is supported by a government. It's called a fiat. It's a legal definition. And fiat currency is nothing but a legal tender. Now, my father, of course, who is an old economist, would talk about whether 1 rupee note is a legal tender, 5 rupee note is a legal tender, etc., etc. Because 1 rupee note is not signed by the Reserve Bank governor, so he didn't call it. He didn't call the 1 rupee note as legal tender, but anything that is sort of backed by the government is fiat currency. And central bank digital currencies, of course, regulated. And the others cryptocurrencies are not regulated by nations monetary you know authority, central bank, etc. And though it's claimed that central bank promotes financial inclusion, it is not, uh, you know, sort of being digital. Sort of it takes away, from the, at least in India, it takes away, uh, people who are digitally sort of literate can only handle CBDCs, right? And this, though we claim and we sort of boast about the fact that we have excess of 500 million smartphones, but financial inclusion really, in anything digital, goes to the income tax, English paying, income tax paying, English speaking, English reading populace. So now, what is the why digital currencies? Okay, I mean, so one is sort of the, complete buzz around cryptocurrencies. With, most of the world lacks today regulation, right? And a few months ago, I was reading about a statement made by ACC, which is Securities and Exchange Commission of US chairman, which is equivalent of our SEBI, which looks after all this, regulates all the stock exchanges and market institutions in US, said that no technology should be beyond public policy, should exist beyond public policy. If there is a technology that exists beyond public policy, then, there would be somebody who would be exploited. Also, uh, fear of missing out is another issue, which is, these governments are lacking on, you know, just they want to take on cryptocurrencies, and therefore they want to introduce their own digital currency, right? Now, one thing is that what, you know, this is the statement which I made recently in one of the panels, that while the even the bankers get excited about cryptocurrency, and that itself is a negative sign, because crypto paradigm, they don't realize, and not all of them have really read Satoshi's original white paper, that it is anti-banking, it's anti-central authority and anti-government, right? I mean, this is something which no government likes, and therefore, banks, the, central banks world over have decided that they would sort of counter all this. It's almost like Empire Strikes Back. uh, Sukant's question, I will take up right away, is in the sense that, uh, this one young IFS officer kept asking me this question, and he used to call me from Indian Embassy in Beijing, that, tell me, Hemant, why are blockchain top honchos world over, the different kind of blockchains that exist, Ethereum, Hyperledger, etc., etc., why are they helping the Chinese government, right? In terms of their digital currency program. And the answer was that they also want to end, because their cryptocurrencies are pegged against dollars, right? And they want other currencies, they want a sort of level playing field. They want, at least, if not uh, dollar, that, at least the cryptocurrencies also could be pegged against yuan. And once that happened, euro won't be far away, etc., etc., rupee, euro, everywhere. So the I mean, sort of, it's some kind of a stranglehold of US dollar, which all these parties would like to break. It's not just cryptocurrency issuers, but it's also the sovereign governments, and especially China. So what are the benefits? I don't want to sort of, since I am not an economist, there are, of course, monetary benefits, monetary policy benefits, which a central bank has, because it sort of, knows exactly it controls the money supply, and, through generation of CBDC, especially, paper money is always sort of, can be destroyed, can become sort of, uh, overused, and even counterfeit notes can be created, etc., etc. So these are definitely benefits of CBDC, but and also the private money creation, it's the cryptocurrency is like a new form of private money creation. And so this is what the uh, positive aspects, right? It's also, today, one of the challenges which banks face is that, they need to be really on their toes, that, the notes in a particular ATM or a particular branch are exhausted, and then they have to send cash to that location. So, if there is a CBDC, then there is no problem of distribution of currency. And also, if there is CBDC, you can, there is no question of taking cash abroad. There are better cross-border payments, especially, once the exchange rate is defined, it's sort of definitely, online cross-border payments, at least for a certain section of society, it would happen. And so these are, somewhat some benefits of central bank digital currency. Now, uh, the models of central bank digital currencies, that, there are two ways. One is direct and one is indirect. Direct is sort of heading for disaster, which is all of us having an account with RBI, and RBI managing, almost 100 crore accounts, or the existing model where the overall currency is ledger is handled by central bank, but we have commercial banks also. In fact, Japanese banks reacted to CBDC discussions in the Japanese central bank, that, saying that what is our role, please define fast, because as I keep saying that anything to do with digital currency, it's you know it sort of, there is no need for a bank, there is no need for a bank account. All you can hold is a account, in a central bank. In fact, you can hold money in your mobile phone or in your laptop, because that's the way you are going to spend money, uh, etc., etc. But we shall come, there are other ramifications of all this. What are the challenges? Challenges of CBDC is, privacy of individual is compromised. I mean, today, of course, in principle, RBI has to find out, or income tax has to find out about, uh, you know, uh, about each and every transaction. It needs a court order, right? But in a direct model, RBI would have all the transactions of ours, with no privacy. Uh, one of my friend was on a panel discussion with People Bank of China, the one of the office managers of People's Bank of China, and said, "Oh, if it's okay if the central bank knows everything about you, the other party, of course, won't know your financial transactions." I mean, which is, in a despotic environment, which is fine, but many other forms of government, we would like all our transactions to be private. the data collected in a direct model would be unwieldy because it's not distributed across banks. It will be, centrally located, and therefore this database will be definitely a target for hackers. Also, imagine, each of us having an account with RBI, and if you have account opening issues, if you are this one, you just think of uh, sort of a call center, managing 100 crore people, a single call center, or so this will definitely lead to outsourcing to private entities, a lot of operations, and then it will also lead to further leakage of data. So, data privacy security is a basic, serious issue the moment you have central bank digital currency in any form. What is the technology stack? What kind of technology stack is required for CBDC? Now, one is, I think, we and the world over, has sort of not addressed the elephant in the room. They feel that data cannot be sort of manipulated if it is put on a blockchain, and there is no other go, right? And in fact, I'm going to come to that there are other ways, and they are legally supported ways of data immutability. Scalability issues is something which is important, and therefore, suppose these transactions have to happen. If you look at cryptocurrency rates, they are pathetic. Bitcoin, one transaction, the blockage is one block is added every 10 minutes, right? And it's intentionally kept that way. While your typical Indian public sector bank handles 500 transactions per second, right? And you will have to put all these things together to create a CBDC based transaction. Now, I mean, imagine all the transactions that there is no paper involved. All transactions are happening, and so this will definitely increase multifold. You buy up some grocery, you will many grocers today accept continue. Of course, very few grocers have digital wallets or Google Pay or Paytm. But so in terms of scalability issues, the traditional multi-tier web architecture definitely is superior today, and it doesn't, according to me, the distributed ledger or blockchain-based solutions do not offer any advantages. In fact, today they are nowhere compared to traditional multi-tier web architecture. In fact, most of the stock exchanges are there on the multi-tier web architecture. And in fact, uh, uh, you know, blockchain uses encryption and hashing, which is, encryption is, data is sort of garbled at the uh, source, and it's sort of received and decrypted and made into legible format. And so when you want to transfer data over public networks like internet, you use encryption and decryption, and so it's a two-way process, while hashing is a one-way process. That if I have use a hashing function on a uh, uh, set of data, then it will give me uh, depending on the function I use, it will give me a fixed length uh, string, and which is sort of, if you make any changes to the original file, this hash value will change. Now, encryption and hashing is a two-way two-way process to sort of hide and send immutable information across public networks. Now, this principle is used in digital signature, which for last 20 years accepted by Indian IT laws, okay, and the world over, of course. So there is no need, according to me, for blockchain kind of solution. Declared, I already sort of spoke about scalability in terms of transactions per second, that you know uh, the scalability of Ethereum, they claimed 2 years back was 20,000, but I have not heard any papers regarding that. And large banks and stock exchanges, as I said, that use the traditional multi-tier web technology. So that is, I think, the strong thing. But most banks are, I don't know why they are discussing blockchain-based technologies. Also, the biggest problem, according to me, and about which I have written in one of the newspapers in simple layman language, that India is bringing in a personal data protection bill, uh, which will, in principle, will become an act, considering the majority the ruling party has, and in the next session. And it also sort of talks about setting up data privacy regulator. Now, this data privacy regulator and federal bank are going to have a lot of common complaints. And once there are two regulators involved over an issue, it always problematic for the people who the complainants, banks, etc., etc. So therefore, many of you, of course, would know that those who have unit-linked insurances, also you or what you call as ULIPs, both Insurance Regulatory Authority as well as SEBI, both come in the picture, and for a while it became a complication till sort of Finance Ministry, sorted out exact jurisdiction of these two regulators. So when there are two regulators involved, there are going to be a big regulatory muddle, especially with the possibility, serious possibility of data leakage that uh, I spoke about. Now, so basically, summarizing, cryptocurrency is the impetus provided for central bank digital currency. That is, it's almost Empire Strikes Back kind of. It's one, like, those. It's literally saying that there are 1,200 cryptocurrencies. Then we will make our currency also digital. More than 90 banks are actively working on CBDC, either proof of concept or thought process, or there are working groups. The Bahama and Nigeria have already launched cryptocurrencies. But there are challenges, challenges of multiple types. One is the data privacy, second is the technology implementation, and third is the regulatory issues. So with that, I want to share a small joke. The Bank of England has, the English have not lost their sense of humor. CBDC is a solution in search of a problem. This is a report which Bank of England has published few days back. Yeah, with that, I'm ready to take any questions.
Thanks very much, Hemant. again, very nicely bringing out, various jargon that we keep hearing and don't know whom to ask kind of thing. And also bringing nicely the insight into this CBDC and the technologies that are sort of underlying implementation of that. Okay, so I hope Sukant got his answer. His hand.
Well, actually, I don't know if I understood the answer. If all the currencies want to challenge the US hegemony, and they will have their own, standard against which the central bank digital currency will be, placed, then we will have the same situation as multiple currencies are there now. Then we will have multiple central bank digital currencies.
Yeah, this Sukant, cryptocurrencies have that, uh, have that possibility, but digital currencies is nothing but, it's sort of dematerialized. Instead of paper, you have a database entry. So your situation will not change much in terms of digital currency. They will use dollars, this one. But see, this whole thing is, it's a political economic question rather than pure economics or pure banking question.
Okay, I have another
Yeah.
question. The cryptocurrencies as such, the origin of cryptocurrencies was in the dark net actually.
See, darknet is now called this one, and it's there. Darknet, it's a legitimate sort of currency, but this was done by this guy called Satoshi, who basically wrote the program and the white paper that.
Yeah, but lot of drug money and
Yeah.
armament money. So there, in fact, it is already established as a medium of exchange.
It is.
Okay.
Therefore,
So my
yeah.
question is that if a kind of an alternative of those things is being uh, proposed by the central banks and by the governments to counter that kind of a thing, won't that make it easier for the black marketeers to hold their money?
No. See, this it's again. If I'll give you an example of Indian Cricket League and IPL, right? Uh, Indian Cricket League was started by Z Television, and Kapil Dev was the in charge, right? Then said that if these people can have ICL, BCCI can have IPL, and they killed this one, right? So see what happens, Sukant. Finally, cash is exchanged, whether it's cryptocurrency or otherwise. Cash, physical cash is exchanged somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
right. And that is where these people want to hit.
Yeah, but still you have to buy it, right? You can mine it also, but in the
No
case,
mining. This is no mining.
so in the case of digital currencies, it won't be mining, right?
No. It is basically, instead of printing a rupee, I will say that I have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's not that's like the TFR used to have these tokens.
Correct.
Okay,
Absolutely.
inside, which were used inside TFR, and sometimes we used to find the Shetty canteen also,
Correct. Yeah.
giving
Accept that.
those.
Correct. Absolutely. It is that cryptocurrency is that exactly that. Like one interesting example of
The
Bitcoin.
question is, do we want Shetty canteen to deal in our currency or not?
You are the questions are getting very, very local and non-transparent for the other participants.
No. I think they will get the essence of it.
Okay. No, I'm just joking. Okay. Are there any more questions to Hemant?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, ultimately,
There is a hand up, Vishwanathan Nallur.
Okay, yes.
Hi, Hemant. This is
Hi.
actually Raja, Raji's husband.
Hi.
Hi. So, so it's like Raji has been giving me the links whenever you have this asset colloquium based on this last time also on the digital secrecy part or digital security part and
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
Now it's good when, like I just have two doubts
Yeah,
on this.
sure.
Okay. So in this, particularly in physical currency, you have denomination based,
Correct.
and it is based on an IOU or a contract given by that Reserve Bank saying that it's a
Correct.
legal tender, and
Correct. Correct.
the bearer of the money, this particular paper will stand to get X amount of denominated money in value. Now, in this this digital
CBDC.
currency,
Yeah.
I think there need not be any denomination-based currency.
See, yeah, that is what this, the model is not yet clear. So, do you require denomination? Do you require, etc.? That I think each federal bank has to talk about it, right? I mean,
And
it's like shares before demonetization had unique number, right? Each share had a number. Now, because after demonetization, they got rid of the number itself, right? We just said that there would be 10,000 Infosys shares.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's similar. I mean, you could get rid of this one, but these things are being debated.
Okay. And two, if in that case, if there is no denomination based, if the digital currency is not denomination based,
Yeah.
and in what way it is different from your digital wallet or the funds, online funds transfer, because where
No.
physical movement of cash is not there, it
Yeah.
is lock, bulk, variant amounts of funds gets transferred. So,
Right.
in what way it is different from this digital currency is different from this, even if so, if there is like US dollar to rupee, this exchange or trading of currencies as currency as a commodity, that US dollar particularly is a commodity because it's an asset, but it gets traded with the value assigned to it. In what way it will differentiate the overall global currency market?
No, it won't. I mean, in terms of, so it's just that the paper doesn't exist.
Hmm.
That's all. Otherwise, everything will continue the way it is. But
Okay.
again, how complex products are sold, how complex products are defined, like FDs, RD, etc., etc. I think, we will have to redefine banking.
Yeah, that means the basic
Yeah.
account which we have, where we have money. So you might have to have a different digital currency account with you
See,
to.
this is good question. I think, yeah, Satya, I think this something I forgot, and if you purely have digital currency, 100%, if digital currency is there, then we also need very strong, zero fail infrastructure like power, internet, right? I mean, suppose you are in, a national park and you want to pay a person money, that time you require internet. Want to pay a taxi driver. So otherwise, as Sukan says, I will have to buy coins before I enter the, tokens before I enter the national park.
No, but now even now I've been reading through or going through a
Yeah.
certain kind of a news item saying that even without internet you can have your Google Pay or I mean your payments can be made through your phone.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, but that is, see, that is, up to a certain amount, and the banks are supposed to, banks are legally allowed to give credit, right? It's actually giving credit up to few thousand rupees.
yeah. So
But if you want up to the minute transaction at bank servers, you need internet, you need power.
yeah. So now, how different is this digital currency from the digital wallet through which you
It's not. That's what I'm saying. You probably don't require an account. I can actually create a structure in your mobile phone, and we can store money in it.
So no, not even denomination based. It is the amount. It's the value.
So of course, I mean, people are debating this, but it can be just a wallet, which holds your entire holdings, or so to say.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks very much. There is Nagraj. Do you have a question?
Yeah. Hi, Hemant.
Hi.
So my question is, I mean, if the governments, I mean, if people are successfully knocking out USD as the comparative currency, then how do international transactions work? I mean, in the absence of such a denomination, I mean, how do I say, for example, if I buy something from another country which has its own digital currency?
Right. So, see, this is a political economic question. I mean, if I have, good sort of, I do a lot of import export from that country. There's no problem in, having, like, once upon a time, we could buy rubles. Soviet Union used to accept rupees, right? I mean, it's again because of two governments were pretty close. But after the dissolution of Soviet Union, they started demanding dollars, right?
Okay.
So I think it's more sort of political question than economy.
Okay. My second question is, I mean, assuming that governments do bring in digital currency, will they be named by the same?
Yeah.
I mean, it will be like rupee only.
Digital rupee,
okay.
digital dollar, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? Let me also look at if there are any questions from the YouTube. There are not. So, I mean, just maybe slightly hypothetical at this time, Hemant, but so when the digital, I mean, if individual nations go in the digital currency way, so there will be a radical change in the existing banking sector, banking infrastructure, the entire jobs, markets, and I mean, is it going to be something quite a drastic kind of a thing, different, right?
I think it will be slowly added. I don't think this will be sort of unleashed by the governments that tomorrow onwards XY, all your currency is demonetized, and therefore or you go to the bank and put all the money, and it will be only digital thing. So to do that, I think we need, as I said, that we need perfect infrastructure. So and that's the reason that if you go to a jungle for a safari, and then you can't pay that guy, right? I mean, so it's like we had this we created Kedarnath prepaid cards when I was working for Bank of Baroda. That Himalayas, there is no internet, so it's on hardware devices. You could actually all prasad and all you could buy through those cards, but which are sort of in Nainital or in Dehradun, you could top up these cards.
Interesting. Okay, so if there are no more questions to Hemant, maybe we should thank him once again for his very nice talk on this something very hot topic, and also I think clarified quite a few kind of jargons or points that we had in mind. So thank you very much, Hemant.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.